What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and we're here for Pink Slips Flashback Style Episode 7 on the channel. And this is going to be the finale of the 2003 regular season. We got 4 games at hand, at home against the Bears, on the road against the Vikings, Bengals, and Broncos. We're going to be road dogs to finish out the regular season. And we're going to sim the first 2 games. I kind of looked ahead. I sneak peeked at all of these rosters: Bears, Vikings, Bengals, Broncos. And, look at the Vikings. Right now, when we play a team, we want a team that has a lot of guys in the 70s, because those are the players that we're going to be able to get as upgrades. 80s, we haven't got a 10-star performance yet, or a 10-point upgrade, so it's a 5-star performance. So the guys in the 80s are a little bit out of range, even though, obviously, someone like Troy, low 80s maybe, and someone like Troy Polamalu's the Superstar X Factor would be unreal. So the better chance, like you look at this, they get a lot of 80s. The Bears actually aren't too bad, but looking at it, I think the Bengals, all those high 70s, that's an easy one to look at. The same with the Denver Broncos. We get a lot more guys, I think, in this. Oh, it's pretty much a toss-up between the Bears and the Broncos, and the Broncos are the final game. So we might as well hop in and play that and see if we can steal away a player before the regular season. So that means we got 2 sim games, and as long as our upgrades, we're gonna stay at a 74. Because I think the worst feeling is gonna be once we hit a 75 overall, losing a player due to a sim game, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm not looking forward to. But we are protected at least for week 14 against the Chicago Bears. And the Bears have a lot of familiar names if you've been watching football for any decent amount of time. Brian Urlacher, they got Olin Kreutz, Michael Green at safety, Mike Brown. I remember all these guys. But obviously, Brian Urlacher is the most famous at middle linebacker. They still probably have, 76. They're not there's no freaky overall roster in this game. I think the Packers are the highest. But 76 they're a strong team. They're definitely a better team than us on paper. And most likely, we are not going to come away with a dub. But if we do, it's going to be on the backs of Ryan Leaf, Andre Johnson, and our running back, the ageless wonder himself. Because look at this. Ryan Leaf, 6 in the NFL in passing touchdowns. I was kind of just peeking at this a little bit. We're not going to go too in depth because we'll probably finish the episode looking at it. But Ryan Leaf, look at that. Right up there with Peyton Manning. This guy here, known bust, 64 overall. He's actually playing unbelievably. Ricky Watters, 2nd in the league in rushing yards. I mean, he's way off the mark in touchdowns, but he's right there, right? Oh, defensively, Mike Peterson, leading the lead in tackles with 109, and he also has 5 sacks to his name. And we will wrap it up before we hop in the final game. He is coming up an AFC Defensive Player of the Week with 21 tackles in a defeat against the Green Bay Packers. So he's an absolute beast, and we're going to need these guys to step up big here if we can get a dub in our final home game of the season against the 3-9 Bears. All right, let's go, boys. Red zone right off the rip. Let's start hot. I mean, the fans are going to be able to, if the fans have anything to do, if home field advantage has anything to do in the Madden sim, it's going to come out today in the finale. I mean, we have more wins than this team. I'm not saying that, they're clearly the better team on paper. They have a way better defense, but we have a better record on the regular season. So I feel like this is going to be a good battle. So we got 14-10. I don't know why I never just play the whole game. I like just taking it in strides here. We probably could just sim it out right at the way. We have a 1-point lead. They got a bunch of turnovers. 8-point lead, 2 minutes left to go. They go all the way downfield, and on 4th down, they get it but miss the 2-point conversion. We are going to get a dub. No, what? No! No! What? They get a walk-off field goal. Somehow the Ryan Leaf is pissed. Somehow we steal defeat from the jaws of victory with that loss. Everyone wants a picture with Ryan Leaf. My God, I thought we had a dub. An absolute heartbreaker. Jim Miller. Ryan Leaf had 3 touchdowns. What a clean game from Ryan Leaf. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Jim Miller here had 2 interceptions for the Bears. Ricky Watters, 100 yards and a touchdown. 2 tutty. Man, Ricky Watters is actually amazing. I hope he doesn't retire. I want him to be back here next year. Much like Ryan Leaf, we probably should be planning and looking at drafting a big-name running back and a big-name quarterback. These guys are playing well. I'm not worried about it. Peterson, 9 tackles. We got 2 interceptions on the day. Jason Kraft, who we've been ripping because every time we play with him, he's not good. Andre Dyson also had 1. A couple sacks. Albert Hainsworth, Robert Smith. That is a brutal loss, though. That is an absolutely brutal. Look at that. I mean, we didn't really turn it on to the fourth quarter where we had 19 points, 19 over 29. But that is plus when they had 3 turn. We deserve to win. There's no other way to put it. Let's just move on. Game 2 against the Minnesota Vikings. They got a lot more talent than the Bears. They're a better team, 77 overall. They got Randy Moss and Troy Polamalu as their superstar X factors. We got Burke at center, Keith Bullock, Bryant McKinney, who might be like the most accomplished offense. I remember he was like 6th or something like that in Heisman voting as a tackle at the University of Florida. Hovind and Bryant, this is going to be a rough one. I don't know, who knows? We could shock the world. Probably not, though. They jump out to a very quick 7-0 lead. Ryan Leaf might be seeing ghosts here, pulling to Sam Darnold. I mean, this Minnesota Vikings team, they have explosive plays on offense. They're very well built on defense. We're going to settle for a field goal as our first score of the game. Down 14. Need a touchdown. There we go. A pulse. We're turning it on them. I mean, hey, if the Bears can come from behind after doing nothing, we can absolutely come from behind after doing nothing and beat the Vikings. We're up 3. Okay, they got a minute 28. Oh, we won! We beat the Minnesota Vikings. How did that happen? Out of all the games on the schedule, I thought this for sure was going to be an L. I don't think it's going to be a very impressive win. I mean, just looking at the stats right now, not seeing much that's going to give this, more than like a 2-star performance, but it's still a dub. I guess at this point later in the season, it's an annoying win because it's just going to affect our draft position. But, hey, we'll calculate the star rating here and see what kind of upgrade we can get from the Minnesota Vikings. 1 star. We won the game. That's all you need to see. We won the game. We had nothing for any of these players. No sacks. No nothing, We won the game. It's a 1-star performance plus 2 upgrade. I probably would have honestly took the loss here and had the better draft pick potentially. But, hey, plus 2 somewhere. Maybe we can find ourselves a steal. Oh, really brutal upgrade. One of the worst upgrades maybe in Pink Slips history. But I guess it is an upgrade. It's at a position that we're very old. The average age of our running backs is like 31. So we're going to flip Holcomb here. Robert Holcomb, 27, 68 overall running back. To the Vikings for their backup, Chris Brown, who even though technically with that skill we shouldn't, but still there. He's a base 70. He does have a hidden dev. I mean, it's not a bad upgrade. And a guy that's 6'3", 235, weight, 90 speed, 80. I mean, he looks like a fun little running back with some upside. So I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I came up with this trade offer before I saw that Brown has an upgrade. This is actually not that bad of a trade. So hey, thanks Vikings. So we got a big upgrade of players. I feel like it's cheesy, having all these upgrades, trying to hold off them so we don't hit a 75 overall. But, we might as well cash these in now. Just bite the bullet, man. We got 2 games left of the regular season. If we're going to be a 75 overall, it's going to happen. So let's just keep upgrading. Now, I usually do like to try to spend the upgrade points to try to make them a scheme fit. But for the sake of Pink Slips, you pretty much want the highest overall possible. Because you might be able, you never know. You never know if you're going to flip a guy. I mean, obviously, some people like Andre Johnson, it's going to be very unlikely we're going to move on from them. So it might be better long-term to start making them a scheme fit. But other players, depth guys, you always want to take the biggest shot. And there we go. We're officially a 75 overall. Which means for Week 16 and Week 17 for this regular season and for every game from here on out, we are going to be at risk at losing a player. Which now means the importance of who we deem as our team captains is that much more important because our 6 team captains, I think, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 team captains. These are the players that are immune. If we win, lose, or draw, these guys cannot be taken away from us. So I'll tell you right now, Jason Kraft is 100%. How do I make this guy not a captain? Shouldn't there be like I know like Anquan Bolden has one. I knew there's 6. This guy's glitched. He's not actually a captain, even though it says he is. But, I mean, I guess we take it off Anquan and give it to James Harrison. It's really the only change you think I would have. I don't think you're going to find... I mean, obviously, they're our best players. These are the guys we do not want to lose. Albert Ainsworth, in his prime, going to be one of our best players. James Harrison, in his prime, going to be one of our best players. Andre Johnson, face of the franchise. Mike Peterson, leading the league in tackle. He's a beast. Dyson, young developing corner. Jason Witten has potential, obviously, to be one of the best tight ends in history. And I guess, technically, Kraft is glitched. And even though we will know he's glitched. And I hope to God there's going to be a scenario that if we do lose, this bum can get kicked off our team. Even though he did have an interception last week. Yeah, so those are going to be our captains. These are the guys who are going to be immune. Everyone else is up for grabs. But why are we talking like that? We are going to go 7-9. We're going to win both these games now. Now that we know we have something at stake, we have to win. We have to win. Let's simply put it. We have to win. So we have the 7-7 Bengals. We're going to hop in here. Do the damn thing. What do they got? They got Corey Dillon, Justin Smith, Chad Johnson. Some of you know him as Ocho Cinco. They got Willie Anderson at tackle, Carson Palmer. This is a really good roster, actually. But if this team can beat the Minnesota Vikings, this team absolutely can beat the Cincinnati Bengals. You already know about that goal line D. You watch a C4 video, you know there's going to be at least a nice little segment or two in a gameplay of a sensational goal line defense. And that was not it. Let's go, Ricky. Let's go, Ricky, you ageless wonder! Hold on to the football, old man! We take a shot. Oh, and quad balded. Just out of reach. Oh, Jabbar Gaffney catches it on the 2. Come on, get a touchdown. So we bring in Anderson, Jamal Anderson. I don't know, again, another ageless wonder in this backfield. He's the power back. He cannot be tackled. Almost carries Takeo Spikes into the end zone. We equalize this game, tied up at 7. Ricky Waters is a cheat code. There's no other way to put it. Carson, the man behind this roster, is low-key the biggest Andre Waters fan ever. Somehow, under the hood, they have made this man the most powerful running back in the game. Oh my God. Thought the Bengals were actually trying to heat up for a second. I think it's Dylan Mitchell. I can't remember this guy's name. He's a depth corner. But he just got a pick 6, which is a star within itself. His 3rd interception on the season. Terrible throw from Carson Palmer. This game's over. This game went from, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to seal the deal, to this game's over. Trying to target TJ Who's Your Mama. I don't think so. And look at those pants on the sideline. The vibrance of the Houston Oilers. Come on, don't give up a lazy touchdown. Give him a free one. This team just doesn't give a shit about getting star ratings or anything. They're just like, the Andre Johnson miscue, giving up that touchdown. It's like they don't even care, bro. And then we... Only way this turns around is we can get an interception. Interception within itself is worth a half star. He's just straight up chucking it up into quadruple coverage. So if we can walk away with a pick here, no harm, no foul. Even then, it's probably going to be a deflection and Chad Johnson or some shit's going to catch it for a touchdown. Or TJ Hushmanzada. But it's 4th and 10, final play of the game. We'll go Albert Ainsworth in the center here, try to generate some pressure. We get home. And Carson Palmer just throws it out of bounds. That is the game. It is a victory. The worst victory, I think, in Pink Slips, just because we had an opportunity at so much more. And this team just being lazy, let it slip through the fingers. I knew we were going to bring it because we weren't going to, we weren't just going to, like, cheese it, do anything dumb now that we're at risk of losing a player. Really, until that pick 6, I thought we were going to lose this game. I don't think, if we don't get that pick 6, we're losing this game. But somehow, We win 2 of our last 3. We still have 1 more game, but the 2 games I thought for sure we would lose, the Vikings and the Bengals. And here we go. And it's going to be another just garbage. I'm going to calculate the score here. It's not going to be good. So, calculating the star rating here. It is a victory, which is 1 star. Looking at our player stats, we hit nothing for our quarterback. Our running back, Ricky Waters, went over 100 yards, which is a half star. We had nothing for our receivers. On the defense, big game for Peterson. No sacks there, goddamn. But we had a pick 6 from Donald Mitchell, so we get a half star for the interception, a full star for a defensive touchdown, which gives us a 3-star performance on the day, which is a +6 opportunity to upgrade a player from the Bengals. Over our +6, we're going to make the most of it. We're not going to make a huge splash, but we are going to get some solid depth upgrades. First up, we're going to flip Antoine Randall, who we actually won in a game. He's a 71 star. And we're going to flip him for TJ Hushmanzada, who's a 72 star. It's just, you know, it's more so I remember Hushmanzada a little bit more. We got rid of Kraft finally, 76 star dev corner. We're going to flip him for Artrell Hawkins, who's a 78 star. 26, Kraft is 27, so again, it's a pretty good upgrade there. And then the final one is probably the biggest upgrade, most meaningful upgrade. We're flipping depth corner Tony Beckham, who's a 69 normal dev. Brought great speed to the team, however, kind of stunned his growth a little bit. And you look at Terrence McGee, the rookie, he got 72 with a hidden dev. It's most likely a star, but it still is a dev trait upgrade. So, yeah, there we go. That is the moves we're going to be making. Over our final game of the regular season, it is against, what's the record? 10-5, okay, the 10-5 Denver Broncos. As you can see, they got Skip. Come on, Skip. Got Shannon Sharp, Rod Smith, Tom Nalen, and Jason Elam as their big-time playmakers. Shannon Sharp, the old man. Old man Shannon Sharp. I mean, if we can beat the Bengals, we can absolutely finish the season on a high note and knock out the Denver Broncos and not go into the offseason down a player. It's 7:30 in the morning, and I forgot to hit record during this game. So, perfect way to end the regular season, yo. So that happens when when a non-morning person is up in the morning working. We won 34-24. Really, you know, it's not going to be a 5-star. Literally, the commentary that literally was just, I guess, me talking to my cat right here was, of course, you know, we had it was up 34-17, and then they got a touchdown at the end in garbage time. They probably kill off the 5-star performance. Really, Jason Witten having an insane game is probably the only thing you missed. But again, this is what happens when I'm playing video games. 7:30 in the morning. Mistakes are going to be made. And calculating the star rating here, we won. It was a divisional win, so that is 2 stars right off the rip. Turnovers were tied. They were split. Looking at our performance, Ryan Leaf with over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns gets 1 full star for that performance. Ricky Waters going over 100 yards is a half star. From a receiving standpoint, 11 catches, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns for Jason Witten. Over 100, 2 tutties is a full star for Jason Witten. Unfortunately, didn't get anything on the defense. Half sacks, no picks. So that gives us a 4.5-star performance, which unfortunately has to get rounded down to a 4, which is a +8 upgrade from the Denver Broncos. So here's going to break down our victory and without a doubt, I mean, obviously it could be up there with James Harrison, our biggest upgrade of the year. With that +8, we're maximizing it. So we're going to first flip Artrell Hawkins, 78 star, for Deltha O'Neal, 85 star. So we're using 7 points of the 8-point upgrade, but O'Neal played at a very high level, especially this year for the Broncos. He had 5 picks. So from a performance standpoint, clearly a massive upgrade. We're flipping Robert Smith for Spice Adams, who's, you know, he was an okay football player. He's known now more so for social media and being a meme guy. But I figured, you know, getting some more character, some more, high character, funny guys on the team could help out there. So that's using the full +8. And here we're making a straight flip. Defensive ends, left, right, pretty much interchangeable. We're going to flip Alex Brown, who's a 76 normal dev defensive end, for Calvin Pace, who's a 76 star dev defensive end. We end the regular season with 3 victories. Our team overall really only went up 1 point. So at the end of the day, getting a hint of like, well, 3 wins and your team's not this, like, you know, it's we're questioning it, but still, remember, we still have the safety valve in place in case things start to get too overpowered. Remember, if we get a 5-star performance, the next game gets knocked right up to all Madden, which this team is going to get absolutely killed and crushed on all Madden difficulty. But here's how our team is going to finish and end the regular season. We got Ryan Leaf was our QB, Ricky Waters there. Obviously, we'll see the stats. He was outstanding. Wide receiver, we got Andre Johnson, Anquan Bolden, both superstar wide receivers. I don't know when that happened for Bolden, man. He wasn't drafted as a superstar. He must have went up. Maybe he was. Jabbar Gaffney, Hushman Zada on the offensive line. Got a superstar in O'Hara and Jason Witten. Defensively, Albert Hainsworth, James Harrison. We got Calvin Pace. Well, actually, I was kind of peeking his stats a little bit. Had an outstanding year. 10 sacks. So, hell yeah. That's a big upgrade. We got Deltha O'Neal coming over in the final game. Andre Dyson. We got Terrence McGee. All the linebackers here are star devs. Safeties definitely need a little bit of work. But, you know, it's a work in progress. And maybe we could look at addressing that position during the draft. But looking at our final regular season stats here, Ryan Leaf playing like a fringe top 10 quarterback. 3,900 yards, 32 touchdowns, to only 9 interceptions. For a 64 overall quarterback, he might be the best sub 65 overall quarterback we've seen since like the Tom Savage days. I don't even know if Tom Savage was that low. Running the ball 1,400 yards for Ricky Waters. Only 8 touchdowns. That's not a lot of touchdowns, but the yardage, man, he was huge. He had, 2 games that he went over 200 rushing yards. Outstanding for a running back of his age at 35. I hope he comes back for one more year. Receiving, we got Jason Witten actually led the team. 73 catches, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. We had 909 for Andre Johnson, 840 and 8 for Anquan Bolden. So the young core, sensational. All these guys in the rookie years. Jabbar Gaffney had 800. Obviously, some of these guys' stats come from their previous teams. But Ricky Waters getting almost 300 yards. I mean, almost 1,700 yards from scrimmage, double-digit touchdowns for a 35-year-old running back. That's quite amazing. Mike Peterson, 131 tackles, tackle machine, 7 TFLs, 5.5 sacks. We got 10 sacks, Calvin Pace, who led it on our team. So lead the team actually was Albert Hainsworth, who had 10 TFLs, 6.5 sacks. Definitely the biggest disappointment was James Harrison. Hopefully he takes bigger strides next year. Like, what is killing him right now? The 72 strength makes no sense. He's one of the strongest players in, remember, he had, like, all his viral videos. So maybe that's what's killing him, is his strength. So we're not getting off blocks. Deltha O'Neal had 5 picks. We just won that away. Leading the team was Donald Mitchell with 3. Kicking, Seabass, one of the best kickers, 27 of 30 with a long of 57. And Cyphers in his rookie year, 14 punts within the 20. So it's kind of seeing where these numbers stack up against the rest of the league. From a quarterback standpoint, Tom Brady was the top quarterback. Chad Pennington had the most touchdowns. Trent Green with a really weird-looking year, 35 touchdowns, 1. But right there, Ryan Leaf right in the mix for top 10. For rushing, Edgerrin James. Ricky Waters is the 3rd leading rusher from a yard standpoint, obviously way off the mark for touchdowns. Receiving, Amari Toomer was the best wide receiver. Not a lot of crazy stats for the wide receivers here. I definitely thought we'd have more guys that are in the 1,000 yards. Defensively, Charlie Clemens. I don't think I've ever had a lead. Oh, yes, I have. In the Bucs franchise, we had a leading tackler. Mike Peterson, 2nd in the league in tackles. From a sack standpoint, Strahan. Oh, my God, he's just killing it. Just killing it. Interceptions, Mike McKenzie. But hey, that's cool. We got from that final victory against the Denver Broncos, we got the guy that was tied for 1st in the league in interceptions. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Top 10 guy in sacks, even though he doesn't show up there, in Calvin Pace. Kicker, Seabass probably is the best kicker in the National Football League. I mean, we'll get right up to the draft here, or right up to free agency. We'll see all of the Pro Bowlers and stuff, see what guys we had actually crack the Pro Bowl. What I will say, we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to draft. It's going to be a work in progress, man. It's going to be something that it might be 2-3 drafts in before we find the perfect balance. But one thing is sure, because the biggest question coming out of the first draft is how do we handle the really good UDFAs, right? Like we had Antonio Gates and Tony Romo in our first draft. I think the rule should be, if I want to draft one of the known, studs at UDFA, for at least now, I think we start with I have to use a first round pick on them. You know, I know for a fact with the base overalls in this, like they might have a sick dev trait, but they're not gonna have a crazy rating. Like Tony Romo starts as like a 68 superstar dev, which is obviously the superstar dev is great, but it's not like you're getting Tony Romo 77 superstar or something crazy like that as a UDFA. The UDFAs are scaled somewhat appropriately, and they're really good. They have a great dev trait. So I feel like for right now, we find a UDFA that we know we absolutely want. We have to give something massive to select them because it's kind of cheesy. So I feel like for at least this draft, we're going to protect the crazy UDFAs from me not drafting an insane team by making it so if we want one, we have to use our first round selection. So they're going to look here at the Pro Bowl roster. We're in the AFC. Let's see who made it. Wow. Okay. Jeff Blake beat out Ryan Leaf. That's disrespectful. Okay. Not seeing any of our players. No Jason Witten. What? You didn't have anyone make the Pro Bowl? Albert Hainsworth is D-tackle 3. Mike Peterson's outside linebacker. How's he second one? He's the most tackles, second most tackles in the league. Delta O'Neal, I mean, he technically is on our squad. He was the fourth corner, the last corner to make the roster. Seabass is the kicker. Terrence McGee on special teams. I think we got disrespect there just a little bit. You know? MVP, let's look at all this stuff. MVP. Brad Johnson is your MVP. Aaron McNair's there for the Dallas Cowboys. Coach of the year, I mean, obviously that doesn't matter. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Edgerrin James. Defensive Player of the Year went to London Fletcher. Mike Peterson coming in at 3. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Carson Palmer. Andre at 3. Bolden at 4. Witten at 5. Chris Brown, I mean, we got him kind of late. Not really one of our own yet. Coming in at 9. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Nick Barnett. Calvin Pace, who again is not really one of our own, coming in at 4. Best quarterback went to Trent Green. Ryan Leaf must have made this somewhere. Number 6 for him. Running back, Edgerrin James. The disrespect. The glitched out Fred Taylor taking up 2 spots here with Ricky Waters at 7. Andre Johnson, number 8 there for wide receivers. Mike Peterson way down at number 7 for linebackers. Delta O'Neal's the best. Man, that might be a dev trait, though. That Delta O'Neal pick could turn into a superstar right out the rip, which is going to be absolutely insane. Maybe the best. Save the best for last. Get him the final week, right? So let's see what's going on here in the Super Bowl as we get ready to wrap this episode up. Actually, we'll find out if the dev traits go. But it's the Chiefs and Steve McNair's Dallas Cowboys here in the Super Bowl, and it's a shootout. Okay. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. We have no one left to re-sign, so we'll just go right to the next week, the first week of free agency. That's where we're gonna end this. I'm not expecting free agency to be too crazy, but let's see if we have anyone that went up a dev trait. So flip it here on the offense. Jason Witten's already a superstar X Factor, which is unreal. He got protective custody. The most effective ball carrier when they enter the zone. No tackles made them result in a fumble. Okay, that's kind of cool. He got that dev trait there. Nothing else on the offense. Defensively, we got dev trait for Mike Peterson, which is pretty good. Inside stuff. We get the ability slot there. Did Dyson go up? I thought Dyson might have went up a dev trait here. Andre Dyson somehow went up a dev trait, but not Delta O'Neal, who got DB of the year and had... so buggy. It's just so buggy. I mean, who can I complain? All right? I'm not going to complain one damn bit. So we're going to make a little gauge here at the free agents. There's no one really too... Obviously, there's some X factors in there. Did I run it? Did he retire? Is he still... Ricky Waters still here? Oh, yes, he is. Goddamn right he still is. I feel bad about getting Delta O'Neal and Calvin Pace. I don't know why I feel bad, but I feel bad enough that I feel like at this point I'm not going to dip my toe in a free agent. We could definitely, there's some upgrades for sure that we could make, but I just feel a little dirty about how that season ended. So let's just not get anyone in free agency this year. So how I want to end this episode is I want to stop at my draft pick. I mean, obviously looking at the draft board here, some big names. Eli Manning, Larry Fitzgerald, Sean Taylor, Phillip Rivers. We got some big names. I want to finish on my draft pick so I can look and through the comments and you guys can tell me who to select. So let's just get to our draft pick. Larry Fitzgerald going first. Robert Gallery. We got Sean Taylor. This is our old team. They got Roy Williams. D'Angelo Hall. Pick 6, Reggie. Oh my God, that's a brutal pick. Pick 7, Dunta Robinson. Pick 8, John Vilma. Pick 9, Tommy Harris. Pick 10, Kellen Winslow. Pick 11 is Lee Evans. Pick 12 to the Jets is Will Smith. Pick 13 is Sean Andrews. So we sit here, this being our draft board. It's looking, I mean, do we want a quarterback already? Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, this is a draft that really does set the next stage of the next 10, 15 years in the NFL. Three just, long-time players. In terms of, obviously, we know my feelings about Eli Manning. I probably would like Ben Roethlisberger in this situation if we do want to go quarterback. But honestly, Ryan Leaf's playing at a high enough level. I was not expecting to pick a quarterback. But then again, was not expecting all 3 of these guys to be available at pick 14. So that's definitely something to think about. We got Steven Jackson at running back. I mean, that could be a good guy to take on a developmental role. But again, we have Ricky Waters. He's playing well at running back. Do we really need to just focus purely on the rating? Or look at the performance? Look at the production. That's kind of how I'm viewing this draft. Not much left at wide receiver. Let's be honest here. We might as well look who we scouted, because we scouted everyone that was worth scouting. So at running back, I mean, there is some value picks. Michael Turner and Willie Parker there. Quarterback, not much. Wide receiver, Malcolm Floyd. Wes Welker as a UDFA. I remember we had Wes Welker. We'd have to use a first-round pick on him if we want Wes Welker. To be honest, that's with the rules that we're setting for ourselves. Same with Malcolm Floyd. Tight end, I mean, we're absolutely stacked at tight end right now. Don't need any of these guys. Offensive line, Jason Peters. We could burn a first-round pick on him if we really want to. I mean, that's a franchise tackle right there. I would not hate that selection whatsoever. Snee got a first-round grade. Nick Hardwick got a first-round grade. Stacey Andrews got a first-round grade. So we definitely could upgrade the offensive line. Flipping the defense, we get Antonio Smith. Jared Allen. I want him for sure. I remember I got him the last series as well. I remember from this draft class, the 2 big players we got were Jared Allen and Wes Welker. Jared Allen's one of my favorite players of all time. He's not going to be there in the 4th round, though. There's no chance. And we can't jump ahead around. The other rule for this when we draft is we have to draft in the round that the players expect to go. Which is, there's no chance. 0 chance we get Jared Allen, which is a bummer. Vince Wilfork's here. Big V at D tackle. Just imagine that. Big Vince Wilfork and Albert Hainsworth on the same defensive line. Darnell Dawkins there. Brock Lesnar as a UDFA. That could get weird. We actually might be a UDFA that we select and just have it just for shits and giggles, to be honest with you. We got Dansby, Darryl Smith. Middle linebacker, not a lot of talent there. Right outside linebacker, DJ Williams. Got Sean Phillips, another 4th-round player with a very high grade. In the secondary, we got Chris Gamble, Nate Vasher, Bob Sanders at free safety. We absolutely need an upgrade of free safety. But it's 2nd round. We can't get him. God damn it. So for our 1st-round selection, really, it's going to be, do we go a quarterback with like a Ben Roethlisberger or a Phillip Rivers or an Eli Manning? Or do we look at Steven Jackson and look at upgrading the running backs? Or do we maybe get a Wes Welker selection in the 1st round? Do we get a Jason Peters selection in the 1st round? It's up to you guys, man. Vince, we can go Big V. Big Vince Wilfork. That's a big-time upgrade. So let me know in the comment section below how you want me to kick off this draft. And obviously, next episode will be a summary of this and probably the preseason, get us all ready for the 04-05 year. So thank you guys for watching. This is without a doubt my favorite series that's on the channel. I'm glad you guys are vibing with it. I look forward to reading the comments to see who we are going to make a selection here in this draft. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit when you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too